Hello, it's Kayla, and I am struggling to keep my eyes open because it is Booktube-A-Thon day 7, and I am exhausted. But I'm not going to complain, I'm not going to talk about that right now. I got a lot of stuff to do, get a lot of reading done, and a video challenge to upload. So we're going to get to that first, and then I'll get into my update for today. Today's challenge is very simple, and it is brought to us by Ariel herself. And what we have to do is we just need to talk about our favorite book, explain why it's our favorite book, our fond memories of the book, and so on and so forth. If you are familiar with my channel, you would already know that my favorite book is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I read this book actually about a month before the Booktube-A-Thon of 2015, and I was absolutely over the moon about it, and so I talked about it a lot during that Booktube-A-Thon, and it was my very first Booktube-A-Thon, if I might add. So there are special connotations towards this readathon in general when it comes to this book, so that's really great. But I came across this book through Booktube. It had been really popular over the past couple of years of Booktube, and everybody was talking about it and raving about it and saying nothing but good things, and I knew I had to pick it up. First, I want to talk a little bit about the synopsis for those of you who don't know about this book, or have you been living under a rock, because it's freaking great! Anyway, this book is about a boy named Wade Watts, and he lives in the year 2045. It is a near distant future where the real world has come crumbling down, and it's kind of in a post-apocalyptic setting, but not really. It's just the government is so messed up and nothing's going right. Resources are very scarce. There's one thing that people in the world find comfort in, and that is the Oasis, which is a virtual reality game created by a man named James Halliday. People have become accustomed to the Oasis in a way that it is their reality instead of the real world. They go to school in the Oasis, they have jobs there, they make a living. That's just the way people make their livelihood and spend their general time. But things get a little shaken up when James Halliday dies, and at that time he is a grossing millionaire. And since Halliday doesn't really have any living relatives left or loved ones, he decides to give his fortune to one of the players of the Oasis themselves through the use of an Easter egg hidden within his game. First person to find the 3 keys and open the 3 gates into the Easter egg wins his fortune and takes ownership over the Oasis. Wade becomes one of many gunters, as they call them, who are Easter egg hunters who try and find the egg to win the fortune. And over the past 5 years since Halliday's death, no one has been even able to find the first key. Until our young and sprightly, not really sprightly, Wade finds the first key, and chaos and madness commence. There are people out to kill him because they want the fortune. There are people who are willing to do anything to get to that egg. Wade becomes an internet sensation overnight, and thus his journey ensues within the book. Of course, one thing that sticks out about this book specifically is all the 80s pop culture references. This is not only a geeky sci-fi book, it is filled with 80s references because James Halliday was a teenager during the 80s, but also because Ernest Cline is a big fanatic about 80s pop culture as well. But now I want to get into why I love this book so much and what makes it so unique and captivating in my eyes specifically rather than anybody else's. I have always been a fan of adventure novels, battles, especially intergalactic battles or of the science fiction variety. I just find them so fascinating and so intelligent, especially considering the advanced technology that we deal with. Within Ready Player One, it's so great. I've always been a fan of the concept of fighting against the clock when you're on a deadline and you're up against the biggest of odds, and Wade had plenty of trial and tribulation within this book. This is similar to why I love the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. It's in a similar sense that it is a sci-fi adventure, good versus evil, trying to win the big bad. That's what I love about a story, because the reason why I would prefer science fiction and fantasy to contemporary novels is because it's an escape from the real world into one that we could never begin to comprehend. It's so fascinating to see these concepts pulled out of the brains of these authors and put onto paper. It just amazes me. The second and more specific reason why I love Ready Player One is an interesting one because I'm usually gravitating towards the characters in a story and character-driven stories more often than not. But Ready Player One is definitely focused more around the world building and really taking the time and effort into getting a clear picture in your head of what you were looking at and the story that's going on and the world around it and making everything make sense. It's absolutely wonderful. Yes, Ernest Cline takes his time before getting into the actual plot of the story to really let the reader know this is where you are, this is the situation, what's going on, but the payoff is so great. And after having this book be my favorite for so many years, it is such a gift to have a book that you love so much be produced on a visual screen. Yes, I am talking about the Ready Player One movie. Ever since it was announced, I was over the moon, so exciting. Looking at every single news report and the first images that came out about the movie, I was so excited. And it's not even such a surreal experience for a reader, but an author to see their work produced into a movie, into a TV show. I can't imagine what that feels like. Of course, the movie wasn't as great as the book. Not many are. But it was still such a wonderful and crazy ride, such a great experience. I actually saw the movie in 4DX because it is my favorite movie and I was willing to pay those extra pennies in order to have the greatest experience of my life. There are not enough words in the world to describe my love for this book and how much it means to me and everything that is great about it in the time span that I have. But just know this is a read you are not going to want to miss, and I love it so much, and I hope those of you who have read it love it too. If not, that's fine, to each their own, but those of you who have not read it, I highly recommend it because even if you aren't a reader, even if you're not into the science fiction genre or 80s pop culture in general, I genuinely feel like this is a book for anybody, and that's just really special. Anybody would get an enjoyment out of this book if they just flipped open the first page and read. Everyone my age remembers where they were and what they were doing when they first heard about the contest. So, I'll leave you off with that, and I'm gonna get into my day 7 update of Booktube-A-Thon. I can't believe it. I hope you enjoyed this little rant. I was off the cuff. I didn't have a script. I was just speaking from the heart, so that's what counts. And now I'm just gonna move on with the rest of the video. Okay, I am sweating. It is really hot today and I don't have my air conditioner on because I am recording. So I'm gonna make this quick because I am about to die of heat exhaustion, but I have really good news. So as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I said I was hoping to get to at least page 300 last night of autobiography. Hopefully I wanted to finish the book, but I had said that wasn't really realistic considering that I'm a slower reader than most, but guess what? I did finish autobiography last night. And this is my 6th book of Booktube-A-Thon that I have completed. This finishes the coin toss challenge. I was up until 2 a.m. reading it because it was so good, but I am so excited that I accomplished that. I am so proud of myself. I read most of this book in a day. I read most of this book yesterday, and I couldn't believe it, and I'm so excited. And now I am 56 pages into Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, and I think I might be able to complete Booktube-A-Thon this year for the very first time. This would be the first Booktube-A-Thon where I would actually quote-unquote win, and that's such a surreal thing to say. I am just so grateful for this experience. It's just so much fun, and especially doing it as a community, it's the best thing. And being able to complete all these challenges is just an extra bonus. Just taking the time to do what we all love most, reading, is just such a blessing. And after finishing this book, which hopefully I will because it is very short, it's less than 200 pages, this will complete the challenge of read a book with a beautiful spine. So I think that's all I have for you today. I'm gonna go read some more. I can't believe it! I'm so excited! I'm gonna go finish this book and I will see you sooner rather than later with a new video for my Booktube-A-Thon wrap-up. Bye!